I've been fortunate to come here now to the European Development Days. It has the same energy and feel of people who want to come together, start a dialogue, build plans, and then of course the real work is going to start when everyone goes back home and starts to follow up on those conversations. And I think it's critically important to bring people together to talk about not just the work we all want to do, but also how we're going to walk away and build the action plans to make it happen. Coca-Cola is quite honored to be here and to have been invited. And for us, it's about making those additional connections and tapping into the EIP, the European Investment Plan that's being created, and how can we play a role as a corporation in furthering those goals and initiatives and leveraging maybe some of the access we have across the African continent and other places to bring the plans to life. I think all companies and partners can have a role in the EIP. I mean, they have three strong pillars. One is around the financing. The second one is around the tools and what can actually be brought to life, the mechanical instruments. And the third piece is the partnership. I think it's going to be really important to have community even as one of those critical partners that is built into this partnership mindset around the EIP. In 2010, we set an ambition to empower 5 million women by 2020 economically. And through multiple programs, today we've accomplished 2.4 million women in over 75 countries. 1 million of those women are in the African continent. And that's a little bit of the programs that I talked about today. That program requires partnerships. So Coca-Cola doesn't just do that alone. We set the goal and we certainly play our role and provide funding and tools and training, but we do it through the public-private partnerships, working with community, governments, as well as other organizations like Bill and Melinda Gates or different, local regional organizations. We have priorities that, some people like to make fun of me. I call them the W's. It's water, women, and waste, and that's really the elimination of it. Water, because you can't have a beverage without having water as your primary ingredient, but also water is the lifeblood of communities. Communities cannot exist without water. Women are the core pillars of society. They're also key purchasers of our brands. They make the 70% of the purchase decision for our brands. Really important, but also we know when a woman earns $1, she gives 90 cents back to empower her community. So it continues the cycle. And then waste. We know the world has a plastic pollution problem. That's real. We need to be a part of solving that problem. So we set a really bold goal by 2030 to recover all of the packages we put out into the marketplace. And part of this too is not just recovering the packages, it's creating that circular economy and designing it up front to start to eliminate that plastic pollution problem. One of the examples of 5x20 is a program we have in Nigeria. And it's a program that for short, we call it ENGINE. And what that stands for is Educating Nigerian Girls with New Enterprises. And so it's a program that focuses on business skill training, education, and empowerment. It touched over 21,000 Nigerian women and girls. It took over 55% of those women and girls who now own businesses, run businesses, or manage individuals. And about 10,000 of those girls who are not within schools helped them to move into jobs. And so it created an economic cycle to empower these girls and women for themselves to thrive. That was done in partnerships. So we had partners like DFID, we had Mercy Corps, and the Nike Foundation. And of course, government and the community as well as critical partners in that program. We're excited to see some of that work be done there in Nigeria, and that's just a small example of the greater platform we have around empowering the 5 million women by 2020. So we're halfway there, we have halfway to go. We're confident. We have every single business unit around our company has a plan in place to get there. We do know that we're probably going to see programs accelerate across the African continent in more of the developing and emerging markets, but the program is relevant around the world no matter where you live and breathe. What I'm seeing around the EDD is that people are walking away inspired that there's a great program in place with the EIP, that people are committed to drive change, and that they understand there's a sense of urgency as well to empower women and girls, and people are working together. So what I'll take back is, bringing back the excitement and enthusiasm, but also some of the key connections that I made here. So right after I walked off of the panel, I had probably 4 or 5 bilaterals with even some of the panels that were on the stage with me. We've already made connections, built plans, and said, now how quickly can we get back together to actually chart out a path forward? So that's what inspires me and will hopefully inspire my team to keep this journey going.